everybody. Listen, we're talking about Luka, and rightfully so. But what if Kevin Durant ends up on none other than the Houston Rockets? What about the Dallas Mavericks, who reportedly are trying to get Kevin Durant now too? Or what if he reunites with Steph Curry and Draymond Green on Golden State? These are the questions we're going to talk about today. So, first let's talk about the Houston Rockets. Why? Well, the Houston Rockets have a very interesting situation. A team that a lot of people did not expect to be the number 2 seed in the Western Conference all of a sudden is blossoming like crazy now. We saw what they did last year, like the complete turnaround they had. They almost made the play-in, let alone the playoffs. And so we saw this coming. Like, we knew they were going to improve. It was clear Ime Udoka was a really good coach for them. And so they've surprised everybody again, and now they're the number 2 seed. And Amen Thompson's going crazy. Jalen Green's having a great season. Alperen Sengun, obviously, is a first-time All-Star. Shout out to him. And so they have a lot of young, up-and-coming talent, along with a veteran player like Fred VanVleet, who is an NBA champion. And so they have a good mix of young talent and, veteran players. However, what if you can add Kevin Durant to that mix? Is Kevin Durant not exactly what they need? So let's think about it. Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers in NBA history. There's no bad shot for Kevin Durant. He can make any shot over anybody because he's 7 feet tall, and so he could shoot over anybody. He's also super efficient. He's like the efficiency king. Seriously. He'll shoot like 60% in a game, and that'll be just easy work for him, right? And so the Houston Rockets are one of the top, I think they might be second in the league in defense, but correct me if I'm wrong. But they are top in the league in defense. Like, they go after you on defense. And they're not like, from what I remember, they're not like bottom of the barrel on offense, but they're obviously not the number 1 offense in the league. They could really use someone exactly like Kevin Durant, who can literally get 30, 40 for you any given night and literally win you games sometimes just because he's Kevin Durant. And so what if the Houston Rockets got him? Now, why is this realistic? The Houston Rockets, I don't know if you remember, they made a trade with the Brooklyn Nets on draft night. Now, what was that trade for? The trade was for the Phoenix Suns picks. So let's think about this for a second. The Phoenix Suns, we know, don't have any picks because they traded them all away for the, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal era, right? Just to make, the big 3. It hasn't worked out for them. And the Brooklyn Nets got the Phoenix Suns picks because they made the trade to give Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns, right? So the Houston Rockets did a deal with the Brooklyn Nets on draft night to give the Nets back their picks, and they took Phoenix's picks. Now, why is that significant? The Phoenix Suns, or rather the Houston Rockets, have, and I'll check after this video, but I'm pretty positive, the 2025 Phoenix Suns first-round pick in a swap. So basically, they have the right to swap their pick with Phoenix's pick. And obviously, they're going to pick Phoenix because they're the second best team, in the league, or rather in the Western Conference. And so their pick is less valuable than the Phoenix Suns, right? So that's one. And then the other one is they have the 2027, I believe, Phoenix Suns first-round pick. Like, not a swap, like they just have their pick. And so if the Phoenix Suns cannot get Bradley Beal to waive his no-trade clause to get Jimmy Butler, which is basically where we're at. Like, doesn't seem like Jimmy Butler, or rather, Bradley Beal is going to waive his no-trade clause. Just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. And so they may be at a point where they have to trade Kevin Durant because that's the only way that they can get assets back in order to, get some players to build around Devin Booker again. They have no picks. I think they made a deal to get a couple of picks, like a week ago or so or whatever, but like nothing super significant, right? And so if you can get your picks back from the Houston Rockets, that's a big leverage move for the Rockets, which is why the Rockets are definitely in contention for Kevin Durant. Because of that reason, because the Phoenix Suns pick is going to be really valuable this year. I mean, obviously, if they keep winning games, it's not going to be as valuable, but the fact of the matter is they are not a top team record-wise in the Western Conference currently. So their pick is valuable, and also, again, if they're trading Kevin Durant, they are not tanking, obviously, but like you would expect them to likely go down in the standings a bit, maybe even more. And so their pick becomes even more valuable. And then in 2027, who knows? And it's not even also just about to use the pick to draft somebody. They can use their own picks in order to trade it to get somebody else. That's the thing. And so I think the Houston Rockets have a major power play in order to get Kevin Durant. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if the Phoenix Suns are going to trade Kevin Durant. But I definitely think the Houston Rockets are someone you should look out for because they can make a deal. They have so much young talent. I personally would not trade Amen Thompson. I'm sure that's who the Phoenix Suns, I mean, they would ask for, you know, a bunch of them. But, like, I'm sure that's one of the players on their list. I would not trade Amen Thompson. But, like, there are so many options that the Rockets can trade if they want to. So keep an eye on the Rockets. And then the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks reportedly are interested in trying to pair up Kevin Durant with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. How that is possible, I don't think that's really possible at all, to be honest. Obviously, it's like a dream scenario for them, right? But like, I don't see any possibility where they actually get, you know, Kevin Durant to be paired up with Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis, because that means that the Phoenix Suns would be taking back who? Because they're allegedly and reportedly, and I'm going to talk about the Warriors in a second, asking for an exorbitant price from the Warriors. So what could the Dallas Mavericks possibly give the Phoenix Suns for Kevin Durant? Because I would say the Warrior, if you're not going to give up, obviously you can't give up Anthony Davis, but like, if you're not going to give up even Kyrie Irving, who I don't think that would even make sense for the Phoenix Suns, but like, let's just say, you know, that's one of your best assets, one of your best players on the team. If you're not giving up Kyrie Irving, who are you giving up? that Phoenix is going to be like, yeah, that sounds good. That doesn't make sense. So like, that is not going to happen. Like, I understand that is a dream scenario for them, but there's no way. There's no way. I cannot see that happening. And then the last team is the Warriors. Now, I just, you know, briefly mentioned them. There have been growing reports since I actually made that live stream 2 days ago. I was just floating the idea around because if you watch my page, you know that 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever it was, I was saying I feel like there's a real possibility that LeBron James and Kevin Durant team up to go to the Warriors. And I said that they would go to the Warriors, like it would be on the Warriors, because Steph Curry is never leaving the Warriors. He's not leaving. He just never is. And so I believe that there might be a chance, back then I said there might be a chance that that LeBron and Kevin Durant would go to the Warriors. Now fast forward to now, and we see that there are now growing reports about Kevin Durant potentially going back to the Warriors. And there are growing reports about LeBron waiving his no trade clause to go to the Warriors. And there's a lot of what ifs here, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. But the fact of the matter is, if Kevin Durant goes back to the Warriors and they don't have to give up, obviously, Draymond Green, or they're obviously not giving up Steph Curry, but if they can make that their big three again, what a win. Like, that is well, we already know it's an awesome fit. We know because we saw it, right? It also would depend what they have to give up. And that's where the issue lies, is that the Phoenix Suns are reportedly asking for a crazy package for Kevin Durant from the Golden State Warriors. We don't know what that package is, but I saw one report that said they're asking for Draymond and Jonathan Kuminga, which is not going to happen. Like, why would the Warriors do that? The whole point would be, again, the same way that they're trying to pair up Jimmy Butler with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, they would be pairing up Kevin Durant with Steph Curry and Draymond Green. They're not giving up Draymond Green. They don't even want to give up Kuminga either, but like, just to setting Kuminga aside for a second, that literally makes no sense. Why would they trade Draymond Green? That makes no sense. So like, the path to get Kevin Durant back to the Warriors seems to be very complicated and difficult because the Suns seem to have a very high asking price, which is why the Dallas Mavericks have no chance. If the Warriors don't have a chance, or if they have a, slimmer or harder chance, right? The Dallas Mavericks have no chance, in my opinion. Especially if you're not giving up, like Kyrie Irving. Again, I don't think that makes sense for Phoenix either way, but like, if you're not doing that, there's no way. And so we go back to the Houston Rockets. And again, I don't know if Phoenix is going to give up Kevin Durant. Either way, I don't know if, because the thing is, like I said earlier, if Bradley Beal's not going to waive his no trade clause, you're kind of stuck with Kevin Durant being your only option to trade in order to get like significant assets back, because Devin Booker is literally off the table. I mean, I guess nobody's off the table after Luka gets traded, which is still insane. But like, realistically, Devin Booker is off the table. So that means it's Kevin Durant, because again, Bradley Beal's not waiving that. And so the Houston Rockets, like I said, could make a big power play because they are the ones who hold the Phoenix Suns picks. And nothing would be more valuable for the Phoenix Suns than to get their own picks back. Like, we have to think about it that way. Now, you could say that although the players are super talented that they have on the Rockets, who they may be asking for, they may be too young in their opinion, and they're still trying to like win now with Devin Booker, right? Like, if they're going to go into a somewhat rebuild, they don't want it to be a 5-year rebuild. They want it to be like a 1-year rebuild, right? Somebody said, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Used to watch your videos all the time. No idea why the algorithm stopped putting them on my page, but you're cool, still making videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. The algorithm is funny sometimes. It just, nobody knows how the algorithm works. I don't know. Can't explain it. You just got to keep, doing what you love and putting out content on stuff you like. And so I hope you get to see more of my videos now that you're here again. So I appreciate you. And then I saw somebody else said, Warriors need another superstar to make another run, but Curry is getting older. Well, that's why they're trying to get Kevin Durant or any star. Like, I think it was Shams who said this, but apparently they are calling about every star in the league, every single one. LeBron, Kevin Durant. I believe he said that they called about Giannis. Like, every single star in the league they have reportedly called about. So they're, taking this seriously. And so somebody said, Katie for LeBron will help both teams. I don't see a world where the Lakers do that deal, or even the Phoenix Suns. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, I feel like it doesn't really make sense. Like, I understand how it makes sense, but also doesn't. So I feel like that's just, I don't see that happening. What was I gonna say? But yeah, Houston Rockets, although their players might be a little bit young for the Phoenix Suns, what they want to do, you still got young talent. So it just depends what direction Phoenix wants to go in, but Kevin Durant is the name you need to watch out for, because we're almost at the end of the trade deadline and we've had a couple of big blockbuster deals, to say the least, but there are still a lot of names out there that have not been moved, like Brandon Ingram, Jimmy Butler, Kyle Kuzma has been on the trading block recently as well. I don't know if Lauri Markkanen is still on the trading block at this point, but that's a name to look out for. Who else? Like, again, like we said after the Luka thing, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. Someone said Katie can make Memphis contenders. Well, it would depend also what because again, like I said, Phoenix is apparently asking for like a crazy price for Kevin Durant, right? And so I definitely agree that KD could make them contenders depending on what they had to give up. But again, if the package is something that's insane, then I guess the answer is no. But like in a basketball sense, KD would be nice on that team too. KD would be nice anywhere. That's the thing. KD is nice on every team. He fits on every team in the league. That's why KD is so valuable, because he literally, besides just being great, fits everywhere. You can't say that about too many players. There are very few players who could fit on 30, maybe even 29 if you say one team maybe doesn't fit on, whatever. But realistically, he fits on basically 30 NBA teams. How many players in the NBA can you say that about? So that's why it's kind of crazy. Somebody said Zion has been rumored as well in packages with Ingram. Well, he was another name I was going to mention, because there has been like, is he going to get traded or not? But the recent, talks have been like, they're not moving him. And so like, I don't see a high likelihood of him being moved at the deadline, because if they really want to move him, they can move him in the summer, right? Like, I feel like if they're going to move anybody, it's Brandon Ingram first. See what you get for Brandon Ingram, and then see what you want to do with Zion after that. Like, I feel like it may be a little too, just like I said about De'Aaron Fox, it's not that the Kings didn't get anything for De'Aaron Fox, but I did feel like they panicked a bit and they traded him like really fast. And so like I felt like they could have potentially got more for De'Aaron Fox. But the point is, for Zion, like, I don't think there's a rush, if that makes sense. Like, we haven't heard Zion come out and say, I want to trade, and we haven't heard Zion complain or say, I want to go to the, like, Zion hasn't done that, and I don't expect him to do that within now until, the summer. And so unless he just randomly does that, I don't think there's a rush to trade Zion, because I don't think his trade value is going down anytime between now and the summer. Like, I believe his trade value is what it is. And whether you think it's super high or not, I believe it is what it is, because people know his injury history and what it is, but also what he can be and his talent. And so whatever his value is, I believe it stays the same, barring, a catastrophic injury, which we, of course, really hope does not happen to him. Like, we hope he stays healthy. We don't want any injuries. But, like, barring that or, like, something insane, I don't see his value changing much. And so I don't feel like there's a reason to rush to trade him when the trades are a little weird right now, to say the least. So thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. And let's see what happens with the trade deadline, because there's something going to happen in the next 24 hours. I could feel it. Thank you guys.